Nick Scott championed the wheelchair division into the national ranks and getting it into the IFBB. And Nick, we thank you for your contributions, obviously, in really making this a reality. This has been years in the making, and it took years to get into the IFBB, a few more years to get it here at the Arnold. But I know Harold and the rest of the wheelchair pros are very complimentary to you and your efforts. So thank you on behalf of everybody for bringing wheelchair bodybuilding to the IFBB.
Yeah, and I appreciate Bob, and especially that going back even 2008 when it was a big question mark how to actually make wheelchair bodybuilding into a pro show and stuff like that. It was Bob and me like talking. He guided me to actually the chairman, and from then things elevated because wheelchair bodybuilding has been going on since 1994 at the NPC Wheelchair Nationals, and then it was until I got involved with wheelchair bodybuilding in 2006. Then I was wondering, like, those numbers were going up and then they were dying out because I realized that there wasn't a pro show. But it wasn't until figuring out how to make it happen, which we made the first pro show happen at the 2011 Houston Pro, and that's where Harold actually competed and he actually won, and I competed and I didn't do so good. But that started the whole elevation because I was the driving force because I won the 2011 NPC Wheelchair National overall title, and I actually submitted that year to get the USA's the overall champion to actually get their pro card, which that's the year Harold actually won it and he turned pro, and then we started facing each other off and things just kind of elevated from there. Now, this is the 9th pro show. Harold won 8 of them, but he didn't win all of them. I won 1.
Nick stole one in there. He was good to go now, man. He retired after that. But Harold, I want to get your views. Now, this is clearly the grandest stage you've been on. You've been on pro stages, obviously, but it's a little bit different at the Arnold as it is at the Olympia. What did you think when you got out the center stage and you're at the Arnold?
Yeah, that's what I was telling my wife the other night, man. Training for it, going through a lot of complications training for this show. Started since November, started training for the show. A lot of things going on in your life. You're working, you're trying to train also, everyday job, take care of wife and children. When you train for it, you look, I'm getting ready to go on, And then you hit the stage, just like Kyle was saying, it's surreal when you see all the guys in striations, when you see striations through the sweatpants, you are at Arnold. Like, wow, this is the big stage. And so when I got on stage and saw that emblem in the background with Arnold doing this right here, I'm like, I'm here. And it really hit me then, And I went deep into myself. When my music came on, I'm like, hey, let's give it all. Let's give it 120%. And that's when I came out. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the competition itself here now. Other than Nick, who's recently hung him up and obviously more the business end of bodybuilding now,
right.
You pretty much had all the players there. So all the top guys were there, great competition.
Right.
But like I say, these are guys that you've beaten before, so you were clearly the front runner coming into the show. How did you feel about your conditioning here and what you brought to the table as opposed to shows past?
Once again, every show is an individual show. Every show I take on as if it's starting all over again. I will look at if I won the last show, I will look at myself, okay, I'm gonna beat myself on this show. It goes into conditioning, working out, eating, meal plan, and getting ready. But being in the wheelchair, most people, will come to me, well, how you do it? How do you do the extra from being in the wheelchair? I can't even get out of bed, go to the gym. Well, that's where that self-drive comes in, man. Pushing yourself forward beyond all the obstacles that's out there, and you just have to do it. Once you put your mind to it, basically, do it. So when I look at myself getting ready for a show, I look at my past show and study myself all over again, and trying to bring something new every time. Every time I try to bring something new. This show, I know that it's the pinnacle of shows that you have to come in as a bodybuilder, grinding, striated, vascular, all of that you must have here. So those are the things that I really focus on more, conditioning. And I heard Arnold had a video clip that he just explained a few minutes ago. I saw that video clip when he said, I don't want to see sweat, I want to see you shaking on stage, and I don't want to see you, all this stuff, and don't be begging for applause. I saw that clip, and I told my wife, you see what I'm saying? So these are things we worked on, prior coming, and the Arnold says that's what you got to do, So those things I focused on, and no shaking, no sweating, no begging for the applause, let the applause come.
Well, you got plenty of applause. You didn't have to beg for anything. Your physique did the talking. Obviously, the judges seem to agree. Unanimous first place votes. From what I understood yesterday when I talked to a couple of judges. So congratulations once again, Harold. Where do we see you from here? Where do you go?
Wherever y'all take me. Wherever y'all want to go. The Olympia, the next.
I'm going to a restaurant. I'm thinking it.
Hey, we going into. Wherever you want to go, man. Wherever we go next, man. I'm definitely going to be there. Wherever the approach will be.
Wherever you go, there you are.
There it is.
You know, to give you a bigger picture of what like Harold brings to the table and stuff like that. In the process of this has been like years in the making. This took me like a 10-year project to actually get these guys to be able to grace the stage. When this was accepted, it was 6 months out. I actually contacted all the IFBB professional wheelchair bodybuilders in the world. There's actually 23 to date. Right now, currently, there's only 20 that compete because 2 have passed, Roger Espina and Jason Greer, which they were on stage with us that night, and I, myself, but I retired to be the voice for the wheelchair bodybuilding. So there's only 20 IFBB pros that actually could compete last night, and then all of them had the chance because I invited all of them to compete, and then 9 actually competed. So we almost had 50% of the entire sport of the IFBB Pro wheelchair bodybuilding compete yesterday. And Harold is now the official first 2016 Arnold Classic Pro Wheelchair Champion, and history was made. And this is your champion.
I can't really top that, bro. You kind of took out the whole end there, so I
No, you can't.
No, it's
You want to ask.
you are learning well, my son.
You want to ask, why are you in a wheelchair? Because that's what everybody's questioning. Why is he in here and why am I? Because wheelchair bodybuilding isn't about the amazing physique. Because Harold brought it. It's very distinct. He's an amazing physique. He got a beautiful, well-proportioned physique. But he's different than I am because I'm incomplete. I got to move my legs. He doesn't. His training is different and more difficult because the cardio aspects, the training, because this is a bigger picture, not just about these amazing athletes, but look at the challenges and obstacles and everything he has to face, just like you guys. We all have stories. I was in a car accident. I was ejected out of my car, and in midair, my own car hit me in the back. It broke my back and damaged my spine. The doctors told me I would never walk again. So we all have stories. And Harold, let me ask you the question. Why are you in the wheelchair?
Oh yeah. Myself, man, 2007, we had a car accident. Me and my wife had a car accident in Oklahoma. Man, we was on our way to Arkansas and trying to avoid missing some deers on the highway. Swerved to the right, hit the grass, hit a tree, spinal cord injury, T11, T12 vertebrae. Immediately when I felt my legs, well, actually I was getting ready for another show. Actually, I was getting ready for a show in September, 3 weeks in September, because it happened on Labor Day. So I was getting ready for a show. I was actually the biggest I've ever been. I think I was up to 212 at the particular time, 6 foot 212. And I was leaning down at 212 like a 7%. And feeling real great, the biggest I've been in my whole life. And I had a car accident. And when I felt my legs, it's like feeling someone else's legs in the car. So I had to get my own self out the car, get my wife out the window, my daughter out the back side window, slide through the back seat, get back off the trunk of the car. And the car caught on fire also. And we went in a cubby hole that was like off the ravine down a little hole that could go into that little drain-off valve so that the car won't explode and mess us up. So during that, some locals came down the side and grabbed me and pulled me up the hill, which I don't think that was the best thing to do. But it was trying to save my life, so, you know, God praise them. So they pulled me up the hill, made it back me to the hospital. My wife took the van in the truck, and we all went there. So, you know, immediately I know I was paralyzed, and then got the diagnosis that where it's not complete, it was incomplete, not complete. So that was a possibility of walking again, yes or no, not sure. But at that particular time, it was like, I'm an old Carolina boy, and my dad taught me, don't worry what you can't worry about, do what you can't do. So it's like, okay, where we go from here? What we need to do now? So, from day one, my mentality was, all right, what can I do now? Let's go forward. Not everyone have that attitude, and I've met a lot of guys and they can't pull it together because they felt that they lost a lot. They did lose a lot. You do lose a lot in the whole transition of it. But the mindset has to be strong. You have to stay focused, and that's important that you have, man. If you have someone that's in a wheelchair, just support them. They're gonna give you pushback. They're gonna, push you away. Because they're going through a lot of stuff. At the same time, just be there for them. And I had a strong support group. My parents, my wife, my girlfriend, then my wife now, my children. All of them was there with me at all times, man. And when I look at them, I felt that it's like, if I let myself down, I'm letting them down. And it was like, I'm not letting them down. So that's when I pushed forward to go for it. And she actually found out that they had a wheelchair class, bodybuilding, in NPC. And she came to me and told me they have the NPC because she already grew up, she was bodybuilding also. So she was looking up stuff for myself, and we found it. And once we found it, man, we ran forward 100%. Yeah.
Is what wheelchair bodybuilding is about. It's about the never give up mindset. Anybody can tell you to never give up, just do it. But Harold is the example of never give up.
How about a big